What's up, YouTube? Telepathy, auras, chi, manifestation, music healing, mantras, and so much more can all be explained with electromagnetics. Through this scientific field, spirituality and metaphysical concepts have already been explained. In this video, I'll be explaining concepts of electromagnetism, vibrations, and frequencies, and the interconnectedness of these concepts with spirituality. Let's first start off with understanding the basics of these concepts. Electromagnetism is the field of study that looks at the interaction of electric currents or fields and magnetic fields and their relation. This is a fundamental force of nature that is responsible for electricity, magnetism, and even light. Every atom in your body is held together by an electromagnetic force. So without this force, matter as we know it would not exist. In today's society, there's a general understanding of vibration, as it has become a common term used when shortened to vibe. It is referring to the frequency of energy that people, place, or situations emit. This concept is rooted in both science and spirituality. Through both lenses, we have this understanding that everything is energy, and how to distinguish one energy from another is its frequency or vibration. In metaphysics, this concept is called the law of vibration. This principle states that everything in the universe, including physical objects, thoughts, and emotions, vibrate at a specific frequency. This is backed up in quantum physics through many theories and experiments, one of which is the wave-particle duality, which is a concept in quantum physics that shows that particles exhibit both particle-like and wave-like behaviors. And this was shown in the famous double-slit experiment, where a photon would create what is called an interference pattern, which is produced by waves. But then, observing the interaction, it would behave like a particle. This led to the concept of the observer effect, which is another shared concept between science and spirituality. Understanding that metaphysics and quantum physics, or science and spirituality, are two sides of the same coin is very important, for they are just different approaches at explaining the universe. Through quantum physics and electromagnetism, we can scientifically prove these spiritual concepts. Quantum field theory is a theory that describes the universe composed of fields that vibrate and interact, and particles arise as vibrations within these fields. Electromagnetic waves are the vibrations in the electromagnetic field, so it is the result of a particle's vibration. This is the same concept of the law of vibrations, as everything in the universe is a manifestation of vibrational energy within quantum fields. We can see the relationship of a particle's energy and its direct proportional frequency with the equation Planck's relation. This equation explains that everything that exists has a specific vibrational frequency. Furthermore, Walter Russell proposed a framework of the periodic table that expresses this idea as well. The wavelength spiral periodic table emphasizes the elements and matter are dynamic manifestations of energy and vibration. This is where electromagnetics come in. In physics, electromagnetic force is one of the four fundamental forces in nature, along with gravity, weak interaction, and strong interaction. Electromagnetics can be described as the relationship between the electric field and magnetic fields. With the understanding that everything in the universe is energy and vibrating, then we can see that in result there's an observable electromagnetic field. And we can see that to the micro and macro scale of it, as atoms themselves are held up by this force to the planet interaction having their own electromagnetic fields. Every observable interaction can be explained through electromagnetics and the law of vibrations. So let's jump into spiritual concepts that can be explained through electromagnetics. Let's first look at the human body and the relationship it has with electromagnetics. As I explained before, every atom is held up with this force, but this also implies that the combination of these fields and charges produce bigger fields themselves. In spirituality, the concept of heart-based consciousness is widely communicated. This has been explained through many concepts and cultures. As in yoga, this heart-based consciousness is explained through the chakra systems. As one expands their consciousness, the next step of evolution is to have their energy of the heart be the new operating system in the body. This is the same in Qigong, as the heart is the gateway to connecting with the universe. It is the central Dantian, or energy center. Another term for heart-based consciousness is Christ consciousness, due to Jesus' many teachings about this, such as in Proverbs 3:5. We can see this energy center and heart-based consciousness through electromagnetism. The two organs that have the largest electromagnetic field in the body is the brain and the heart. The heart's electromagnetic field is roughly 60 to 100 times stronger than the brain in terms of electromagnetic power. And through measuring devices such as an electrocardiogram and a magnetocardiogram, we can see when someone is experiencing positive emotions that are associated with the heart, such as love, gratitude, or compassion. So we can see that the heart's electromagnetic field tends to become more coherent, meaning that rhythms are more harmonious and organized. This coherence can be measured, and there is a suggestion that it may correlate with the states of heightened awareness or connection, which is the same description of heart-based consciousness or Christ consciousness. To expand upon the heart's electromagnetic field, we can measure the magnetic field of the heart, which extends in all directions around the body, roughly 3 to 4 feet. This is the link to seeing how our thoughts and emotions are physically manipulating the world around us through just the electromagnetic field. As the fields intertwine between each other, information through the electromagnetic field is shared whether you are aware of it or not. This electromagnetic field that the body is producing is what auras are. In the spiritual communities, auras are the outer layer of the body that expresses higher planes of information, such as thoughts and emotions. This is why in aura reading, people describe seeing people's archetypes, which is another word for a universal pattern. We know that electromagnetic fields can be influenced by emotions and thoughts, so it is easy to see how it is reflecting this same idea through the auras themselves. As there are some spiritual people who have access to this ability to see auras, technology has also started to be able to see this relationship. Along with the other technologies I referenced before, we have technologies that can see and read these auras. A new modern example is Kirlian photography, which captures auras in a picture. There's also recordings of auras filmed showing the shift of states of consciousness, as well as the effect of the environment, grounding, emotions, and mantras. Let's take a look at that.
The following film shows the human energy field radiating outward from the body. It dynamically changes based on the physical conditions, the feeling states, the motivations of the person, in interaction with energy radiation from objects and living things. The existence of the human energy field, or the aura, was validated and studied by over 12 years of high-frequency recordings. This film shows the field not ordinarily seen, but now visible. Like all living things, this little dog has a sizable radiant field, even when he sits quietly. Notice now, as he greets his master, the obvious love and affection between them increases the dynamic radiation from their bodies, even the dog's tail and the man's head. No wonder so many people have pets who give them pleasure and provide a vital field of energy to interact with. Wherever there is motion in the universe, there is increased flow in the field that humans interact with. See the explosive activity from the waves and from his body. Also, the electromagnetic field of the body is negatively charged or ionized, as are waves or tumbling water, which further expands and heightens his field, giving a physical exuberance and emotional excitement. No wonder that a day at the beach is so exhilarating and vitalizing. We all love a babbling brook and the freshness of outdoor vegetation and mountains. Most of us believe that it is relaxation and beauty which refreshes us. From our research, we have discovered that living plants and rarefied atmosphere provide a richer field of negative ions, which heightens and replenishes our own energy field. Notice that the man's field becomes light in color and high in frequency. It sparkles and radiates some distance from his body. See that as the child moves into the mother's field, the affection between them changes the overall field to a pink color. Individuals' fields blend and enhance when there is a warm, caring relationship. These energy fields are the largest and the whitest that we have shown. She is ohming. On the breath inhalation, the radiant field diminishes, and on exhalation, it expands and envelops the child. We have known for a long time that Gregorian chants, ohming, humming, singing, and whistling create an energy which perks up emotions and brings an expanded consciousness.
So we can, through this video, not only see the electromagnetic field of the body, auras, and the effect of emotions and environments, but that mantras themselves have an effect on the electromagnetic field. For you can see that the mantras created a change in the field. Another example of this is through structured water. Structured water, also called hexagonal water, refers to the water that is organized into a more structured, orderly arrangement of molecules. It is often discussed in relation to how water is interacting with electromagnetic fields, biological systems, and energy. Due to the polarization of energy in the water molecule, these electromagnetic fields can create crazy structures, as we can observe easily, such as snowflakes or even just ice. Combining information of this concept and the concept of water memory, we can see more evidence of mantras, thoughts, and emotions having effect on the electromagnetic field. So we can take a look at water memory from experiments such as Dr. Emoto's experiment or water art. In Dr. Emoto's experiment, he would express thoughts, emotions, and mantras towards water and then freeze them to see the structure of the water. And in 2009, Luc Montaigne suggested through his experiments that DNA could emit an electromagnetic signal that influenced water. Claiming highly diluted DNA solutions were exposed to electromagnetic frequencies, water could remember the DNA's presence, even when the DNA was no longer there. With all of this implication, we can see how thoughts, emotions, and mantras can affect the electromagnetic field, which in turn means it is affecting us. Furthermore, this also proves sound being super influential as seen through the electromagnetic fields. As we have seen multiple times, sound has influence on the world around us. This implies that what type of music you listen to has an influence on your whole body. This proving the benefits of sound healing and sound baths. To understand how electromagnetics explains manifestation, we'll have to take a step back again and look at the law of vibration. With this understanding, we know that everything is energy, and the vibration or frequency is how we can understand the difference between these energies. This is including our thoughts, emotions, and the physical. Using this, we can see that whatever our state of being is at is what our vibration or frequency is at. To change your reality and state of being is to change your vibration or frequency. This is how manifestation works. For whatever your vibration is internally will also be the vibration externally, as we see this in electromagnetic fields. But these fields are not just in the body. Everything is producing and influenced by these fields, as we have seen in water. So the manipulation of your own vibration or frequency is manipulation over the electromagnetic fields. Yes, I am implying that everyone has the powers of Magneto. We have seen many crazy examples of this, such as Jesus walking on water, Wim Hof and monks regulating their body temperature, Qigong practitioners emitting strong biofields, or instances of yogis levitating. We can see how electromagnetics is a link to these otherwise out-of-this-world actions. Now let us take a look at the brain and its connections with electromagnetics. As we have said before, the brain is the second strongest electromagnetic organ in the body. But not only that, the brain is the tool in which we interact with these electromagnetic fields around us. Neurons are special cells in the brain and nervous system that send and receive messages through creating electrical impulses. These electrical impulses are the key to seeing how your body can read and sense electromagnetic fields. We have billions of neurons in the brain, which is creating that large-scale electromagnetic field. This is how we measure brainwave activities using technologies such as EEG. So not only can we see that through just only neurons are we influencing the electromagnetic fields, but also being influenced by electromagnetic fields. And with neurogenesis and neuroplasticity, the brain has the ability to change and adapt. The brain's electromagnetic activity can lead to new neural connections. essentially rewiring the brain over time. This further emphasizes how manifestation and electromagnetics are intertwined. And even furthermore, neurons are not just in the brain, but in the nervous system. While the brain has the most neurons, we must also understand that we have a large amount in the spinal cord and peripheral nervous system. First, let us take a look at the cerebellum, which is still in the brain, but plays a key role in motor control, coordination, and balance, while also being involved in some cognitive functions. The cerebellum contains the most individual neurons, containing about 69 billion neurons. Secondly, the spinal cord also plays a huge role as the highway for transmitting messages between the brain and the rest of the body, having large amounts of these neurons. In the peripheral nervous system, we also have neurons, having both sensory nerves and motor nerves. The PNS connects to the CNS, to the rest of the body including the limbs, organs, and skin. This is how you have your sense of touch. Now, to see how this is an implication to electromagnetic fields and spirituality, you must understand how these neurons work. You can think of neurons as a radio itself, each having a certain range of frequency in which it can input but also output. So neurons themselves can sense the electromagnetic fields. This implication is huge and can make the connection between a lot of spiritual concepts and science. So first, with this concept, we'll look at the idea of Reiki. This is a technique which utilizes the hands for healing energy. We can see now through the understanding of nervous system, neurons, and electromagnetism, it is working. As neurons can both receive and give information, and the hands have a specialized sensory nerve for this purpose. Your hands and feet both have the ability to sense and output energy. Now let's take a look of a diagram between the relationship of energy centers and nervous system. Knowing that wherever the nervous system runs, so do neurons, we can see through this diagram the nervous system runs to where these energy systems are, such as the chakras itself. This also shows the connection between thoughts and emotions to the physical body, such as organs, muscles, and joints. Lastly, as it pertains to the nervous system, we can see how this lines up with the concept of the chi body, energy body, or the light body. The nervous system itself is a manifestation of the energy body and the physical, as it is the activation of these neurons through the nervous system that is the chi body. As more mastery of the control of the nervous system and neurons, the better you are at manipulating the electromagnetic field. And this is how you can have the famous Bruce Lee 1-inch punch be so effective, and an example of this concept. Now let's go back to thinking about the neurons in the brain. So we know that the brain has the most neurons, and neurons themselves act like a radio receiver and sender. So this is also how we can explain the idea of downloads and telepathy. First, downloads is the phrase people use, especially in the spiritual community, that refers to getting a profound thought. It is this realization of thoughts coming from outside of the body itself, feeling like you just tuned into a certain frequency to get that information. This can also be referred to as the light bulb effect. As you interact with the electromagnetic fields, the brain is interpreting all this information. When shifting into a frequency, if one is aware enough to feel the switch, this is when the download occurs. Now, let us look at telepathy. Using the same ideas of neurons in the brain acting like radios, it is the shifting this frequency to match another frequency that allows telepathy to occur. And to extend on this concept, it is the same idea for collective consciousness. It is the combined frequency and electromagnetic field of consciousness itself. So this is how, when you get close to people, it feels like at times you do not need to fully communicate out loud, or y'all get the same ideas. You and that person's electromagnetic field and frequency are meeting up and linking, tuning into the same radio waves. We're starting to see more examples of this being the case, such as in the telepathy tapes, where they show multiple cases of nonverbal communications, and some describing it to be exactly this. We can further examine this idea from the telepathy tapes as we understand that people with autism have an increased sensory information and input, this meaning more neurons, more capacity for information or frequencies, having this heightened ability of shifting their frequency to communicate telepathically. but it's the same reason that it's hard to physically communicate and function at times because of this sensory overload. And these are just a few examples of how, through our scientific understanding of electromagnetism, we can create connections between science and spirituality, and metaphysics and quantum physics. As we integrate this information, I want you to realize that the key takeaway and practical application is to master your own energy. As we have seen countless times in this video of the power of energy through the ideas of law of vibration and electromagnetism. We have seen the effects of meditative practices from the electromagnetic field, such as the increase in both neurogenesis and neuroplasticity. We can also see tools such as sound, mantras, and chi having profound effects on the body. And not only is this just a crazy amount of connections of information, but this should teach to keep an open mind about concepts otherwise foreign, because everything is vibrating differently for a reason. Are you ready to take the next step and truly master your energy? Well, you're in luck, because I've just launched a brand new meditation course designed specifically to help you harness your energy and elevate your consciousness. But that's not all. I'm also authorizing personalized one-on-one coaching sessions tailored to your unique needs and goals. Whether it's exploring deeper into consciousness, refining your meditation practices, or improving your holistic health through diets and workouts, I got you covered. And here's some even more good news. I'm also running a weekly newsletter where I dive deep into the topics like consciousness and holistic health. So for a limited time, when you sign up for my newsletter, you'll get access to my meditation course absolutely free. If you're ready for a transformation and to take control of your energy, visit my website at ellislhernandez.com or click the link in the description below. Your journey to mastering your energy starts now. That's it for today's video. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, leave comments, questions, or topics that you would want me to talk about. Peace.